Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Two Brothers channel. I'm, as usual, one brother.
Hello, everybody, and I'm the second brother. Welcome to the Two Brothers channel. We have a new year upon us. So I don't know when you're going to see this, but this is the first viewing or the first recording of the new year. So welcome to a brand new year. And we have, as usual, a very powerful one for you. So back to you, Mr. Phil.
Thank you, Mr. Clay. Happy New Year! Happy New Year, everybody. Excuse me. I'm recovering from cold, and we've been told that sometimes these things can be on your chest for months. Anyway, so if I cough once in a while, you know why I'm coughing. But the show must go on. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. And this topic is a very good one. This topic, before I actually go into this topic, I just want to do the YouTube stuff, okay? Now, if you've been rocking with us, if you've been liking our content, okay, I know I'm guilty of this as well. Like the video. It helps the YouTube algorithm, and it helps us get the message out. And this message is actually very important. And the reason why it is important is that it directly affects your environment for the better. There's actually another topic that we're going to deal with in the future, and we're going to title it, Are You Not Entertained? A bit of spoiler there, but yeah, that's it. And that is because, you know, this message is, you can help us help get the message out there, but the return for you is massive. The return for you is not only do you get empowered, everyone around you becomes empowered. We've spoken about your network being your net worth. So click the like. I know, trust me, even I'm sure Mr. Clay doesn't want to do this, but we have to do it. And the reason why I say Mr. Clay may not want to do it is that sometimes you're thinking, oh, I'm going to be telling people to like, I'm going to be telling people to subscribe, but you know what? I've watched some content producers that are forerunners to me, and I obviously learn from them. And for years, those guys are like on it. Get my likes up. You know that, Mr. Clay, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, you're right. It's housekeeping, as they say.
Okay.
So
okay.
we need to do housekeeping.
Okay. So, and we have a goal. And our goal is by June 2022, we want to be at least 2,000 subscribers. That's not too much to ask, okay? Because like we said, what we're sharing is very important. And you find out on this episode that we're titling. Okay, before I go into the episode again, what do? Like the video, subscribe to the video, okay? And click the bell icon. Some people, they click subscribe, but they don't click the bell icon, so they don't get notified. YouTube is a massive platform. It's like a sea of content. And the only way you're offering your episodes or your program is seen by the algorithm is through the likes and the subscribe and the engagement. So for all you people that are engaging with us, we appreciate you, we thank you, and you mean a lot to us. We can't do it without you. It's a success feedback loop. So today's topic, play the cards you've been dealt. Play the cards you've been dealt. I'll say a little bit and I'll get Mr. Clay on board. Now, you see, a lot of people, we don't know that when we come to this world, we've been dealt some cards. And in a card game, the dealer deals you the cards, and the card is usually face down. And when the dealer finishes dishing the cards, you pick up your cards to see what you got. And in our case, when we're born, your cards is already dealt. Some people will relate to this on the card is where you born. Were you born in Nigeria? Were you born in the US? Were you born in UK? That's your card. Are you male or female? That's another card. What kind of family were you born into? That's another kind of card. Are you going to be tall? Are you going to be short? Are you going to be ugly? Like they say it here, ugh. Are you going to be ugly? Or are you going to be handsome? Are you going to be beautiful? That's another card. Now, the key is this. The cards goes on and on. Are you going to be born into a rich family or a poor family? Are you going to be born in a rich city, a big city, or a small city? Are you going to be, so all those are your cards. Those are your metrics that the universe, that you came into this life with. What actually came into my mind is that I actually kind of suspect that we actually choose those cards when we're coming. Mr. Phil, what do you mean? You mean I chose to be born in Nigeria? That can't be true. What are your thoughts, Mr. Clay?
Yeah, people, you think being born in Nigeria is actually a bad card. Unbelievable. And you're here coughing your lungs out. I'm here hiding from the cold. I even have to have a fireplace behind me to say that, to try and tell my body to keep warm. But you're there, in people that are born in Nigeria are born in paradise, because everything in the weather-wise is beautiful out there. But the man-made governmental construct is making their life hell. So they regret it. I was born in Nigeria. And then I remember growing up and Mr. Phil was like, Mr. Phil and my other brothers were born in London. And same father, the same mother, but I was born in Nigeria. So everybody is, and I used to look back and it was like, why is it when it came to my turn that you guys decide to leave UK and come to Nigeria? I mean, of all places. And that used to trouble me for a long time. And as I have matured on this journey, I've actually found out that I'm not that displeased with my card. From actually absolutely hating my card to begin with, absolutely hating my card. Like, oh my God. Everything was wrong about my cards. It's not that the cards changed.
Don't let me laugh, because I'll just cough. Carry on. Carry on.
Because there was nothing that I liked about the cards. Not the family. Not the people I was surrounded with, not my siblings, not my cousins. There was nothing. There was absolutely just like the worst of the worst, And then, you look back now, the same me, I haven't changed. And I wouldn't have chosen anything differently when I look back. So I don't know where Mr. Phil is taking this, but let's see. Back to you, Mr. Phil.
You had me laughing, man. You had me falling off my chair. You didn't like your cards. You even called it bad cards. But the beautiful thing about it is that whatever cards you've been dealt, the first point I'm going to make is this. Now, a lot of you will not appreciate this or agree with this yet. But Mr. Clay hinted on it a few seconds ago. Whatever cards you've been dealt, you can win with that card. Whatever cards you've been dealt, you can win with that card. And so it's not so much, and the beauty of the universe is that it's not so much the card you've been dealt, it's how you play the card you've been dealt. So Mr. Clay said he was wondering which direction I'm going to go with this. Okay, this is a very simple one. How about the card of the fact that I was born black? And some people are obviously born white. Let's deal with that. I thought that was a disadvantage for a long time. Some people say, it is not a disadvantage that you are black. Absolutely not. When you know that every card that you are dealt with has its advantages and has its disadvantages. Let me repeat that. So it went over all of your head. Every card that everybody on earth have been dealt has its disadvantages and its advantages. Look, when you go on this journey and you start equipping yourself with information, then you start to uncover the advantages of your cards. And that is why we say personal development, it is so crucial. Because if you do not go on the personal development journey, you will not begin to discover the advantages that are hidden in your cards. Mm. Some people just want their cards to be joker, 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 joker. They don't want anything else in there, just to be jokers. And they don't know that people that actually have their life joker, joker, joker. So let's give you an example. Born white in a white country, in a wealthy country, in a wealthy family, on the tabloids, millions on trust funds, can go to the best part of the 1% in the world, die of drug overdose. Meanwhile, the other counterpart doesn't have anything. In the slum of Makoko in Lagos, probably just has 1 meal a day, but he's fit and healthy as an ox, and he's still alive. That's what I'm saying. I could go deeper, but those are the kind of things. So whatever cards, the first point is that whatever cards you have been dealt, you can always play it to win. But that's where life gets very interesting, because you can have the best cards, but in your mind, they're bad cards. And because they're bad in your mind, they're bad cards, even though they're the best cards, you can't win with them. So your mindset. Now, you could actually have the worst cards for real. They're the worst cards known to man. But your mindset says, you know what? I'm short. I'm not handsome. I ain't got much going for me. I'm born in a poor country. I'm short. I'm not handsome. I'm born in a poor country. There's nothing special about my background. However, I'm going to use the tools that I have around me. The fact that I can hear sounds and I've got ideas. Do you know who I just described there? Burna Boy.
He's not
Burna Boy. Eh?
He's not as short as Wizkid.
You see? They even get shorter. Now, tell me, what has that shortness stopped them? In what way, shape, or manner has it stopped them? I've just described these guys. I'm 6'2". There's nothing I'm enjoying that these guys are not enjoying. So again, Mr. 6'2" that can be tall and reach the top. Okay, ask him to pick up something from the ground. You will have to start thinking, is it worth bending down? Honestly, sometimes something falls on the floor, I'm thinking, can I do without picking? Meanwhile, being tall is what a lot of females seek. And the short guys will be thinking, I wish I was tall. So again, there's nothing wrong with tall, short, or whatever. And I know I'm exaggerating. I actually, thankfully, I can pick things on the floor at the moment, and I can, but it does cross my mind sometimes. I'm thinking, shit. It does. All right. Now, the point though is that whatever cards you've been dealt, you can win with it. And I've just given you a very good example there. I've just described the specs of Burna Boy, and Mr. Clay even reminded us of Wizkids. Who wouldn't want to be those two guys? Mr. Clay, over to you, sir.
Yeah. I know it's hard to think that your so-called bad cards could actually be a winning card, depending on you looking at it with a different mindset and changing the way you look at your cards. Because the cards don't have to change. You have to change. Your attitude towards your cards have to change. Like Mr. Phil said, there's advantages and disadvantages to every card. Let me ask you, have you ever sat down and listed the advantages to your cards? Has that even ever crossed your mind? Or all you look at is the disadvantages? If you haven't done it, I suggest you do it, because there's a book I'm reading, and I've been sharing the book right now, and it talks about the fact that us even being healthy, having a healthy body, relates to the way we feel, to our emotions. And if you're full of bad emotions because of your bad cards, you won't be healthy. That was that to many people. That might be like, of course, we know that now. Yeah. I'm just finding out for the first time. Maybe I've known it, but I've never really owned in on it. The fact that the state of your health is linked to your emotions. So when somebody asks, how are you feeling? How are you doing? You say, I'm all right, or I don't know, I'm all right. That is actually, you cannot afford to feel that way, because you could be feeling sick because of it. So your health, sometimes people, like Mr. Phil said, they might be dealt with all the right cards, so-called cards, but they're not healthy. They have this disease that they were born with. And you might not see it on their face or in their body, but it's in there. They know it. Like, oh yeah, we have this chronic disease running in our family. Like JFK. Remember JFK? Before he was shot? He had a really bad back. Really bad back. So, and this is a billionaire, or the son of a billionaire. So you have to really, really look at those cards. I mean, I'm excited about my cards. Now I'm excited about my cards. From being really, really upset about my cards, and I'm really upset about my cards.
Okay, please, Mr. Clay, what were your cards? Or what are your cards? Just obviously, just only as deep as you want to go. What are your cards?
Well, my cards was like, it's like being born after the party was finished. And everybody telling you how great the party was.
We probably shouldn't have asked you the question. Carry on.
That's how my cars were. Like, it's like, oh, it was one. Oh my God, we missed the best party. And he's like, but I want, you know what? When we were having the party, there was loads of drinks. He's like, well, I want something to eat. You know when we were having the party, there was loads of food. But we ate it all. The party is finished, no more food. Like, so there's no food, there's no drink. No. Maybe I can listen to music. You know what? There's no electricity, there's no music. But when we were having the party, there was electricity, there was music, there was everything. That's how my cars were like. And I was like, my God, trust me.
What kind of cars are these? Now the question is, okay, actually, let me put some context into that for you, because I don't want to make you start guessing. The context Mr. Clare was saying is that when he was born, we used to hear about how great Nigeria was. We used to hear about how this person, my older brother traveled, I traveled, everybody traveled, you know, and there was no traveling on Mr. Clare's prospect. Excuse me. We were based in Nigeria there, so you could only hear about stories about London. Mr. Clare, carry on, please.
Yeah. And about travel, it wasn't even about travel. It was the fact that you came, you left, and got landed here. And everything that we had, we weren't buying anything new. All the stuff they brought was still around. So it was too early enough for me to see the clothes, the shoes, the
From
jewelry,
London.
even the furniture, because they literally packed everything and brought it, So
to Nigeria, yeah, because I'm trying to put context. So our family traveled from London to Nigeria before Mr. Clare was born, basically. Carry on.
So, so everything was just there, and I miss the travel, I miss everything. So, and then Nigeria just started going down. So it just felt like, I missed the party. But the important thing was, it wasn't until years later when I was reading these books that I started checking out my cars for real. And the journey that you go on, because you miss so much out if you're born into where, that's why I believe what you say. I agree with you that we chose to be born where we were born. And it's for you to then go and do the journey internally to say, why did I choose to be born in Nigeria? What are the things that made me choose Nigeria? Of all the places to be born in this world, why Nigeria? Because information is coming out now that, civilization started from Africa. Can you imagine? Wow. It was only recently that I discovered that Rome in Italy, the Roman Empire, as we know it, had a black emperor. Hello?
Yes.
Caesar. Yeah. It's just like somebody saying America had a black president. Roman Empire had a black emperor. He didn't know.
And it was based in London.
Yeah.
Documented. This is not even, cannot be hidden. And a black, not even thingy. So much has happened before us. Mr. Clare, I wanted to finish, then I'll carry on. Carry on, Mr. Clare.
Yeah. So there's so many things that why there's so many reasons coming to light now why you might, with more information, might have chosen to be born right there where you were born. So it's very exciting. So I'll hand over back to Mr. Phil.
All right. Very quickly, let's look into white guilt. Because we're talking about white people. Sometimes you think, oh, I wish I was white or whatever, or I was born in a white country and all that. You see, there's something called white guilt. And very quickly, I don't want to take too much time about this. You see, white guilt is when especially with today's world now where information is everywhere, where you know what your ancestors as the white people did in this world. If you have any kind of cognizance, you will realize that you feel uncomfortable. And especially you were just born with those cards. And the whole world is looking at you. Your people did this. And you're like, I just got born. And the world like, we don't care. We don't care. Your people have been killing and pillaging and raping. And you're like, I was just fucking born. Excuse my language. You understand what I'm saying? And then guess what? Then they now have what they call white guilt. The more they look into their history. Now, yesterday I saw a video of a white guy experiencing racism for the first time. I might actually tag that video to this episode. And this white guy couldn't believe it. It was from the video I could deduce that he probably was walking with his girlfriend who happened to be black. And then there's something happened that the police got involved. They attacked his girlfriend and they left him. The guy said, I'm loose. Why did they arrest me? And it was a black guy that looked at him and had to calm him down. Calm down. Boy, calm down. He was like, he was actually crying because he couldn't understand what is so different between me and that girl. And that girl he said, she didn't punch anybody. He said, she just defended herself and she's arrested. Why? And he was crying. Why did they? And what he didn't understand was the privilege that he's been enjoying from the day he was born. Now, if he's not careful, when everything sinks into him, he will now realize the inequity that he has been oblivious of until that point when he touched his own life. And then the next thing that will dawn on him is that this is unfair. And the next thing that will dawn on him is that this is what white people are doing. And then the next thing that will dawn on him is like, I'm white. What do I do? Do I hate myself? Do you get what I'm saying? Do I hate myself? And then the next thing, and he has to deal with all that. And look, ladies and gentlemen, I would not want to deal with that kind of baggage. And I'll tell you the reason why. I tasted a little bit of it. You will be saying, Mr. Phil, what do you mean you tasted a little bit of it? Yes, I tasted a little bit of it. Mr. Clay might actually be able to relate to this. I keep saying it. When I was in my teens, we're living in Nigeria, we're living in Abule Desha. And our house was the best in the area. You look this way, no house can compete. You look that way, no house comes close. You look this way. There was one house on the other side, I remember, to the left, but it was a bit far away. But in that vicinity, our house just stood out as the best. It was the only story building in the area. And I felt so uncomfortable, man. I really felt so uncomfortable. And the reason why I felt so uncomfortable, most people will be like, I wish I lived in that house. Well, I that was living in that house didn't wish I was living in that house. You know why? That was when armed robber was reigning in Nigeria. Every morning you wake up, armed robber went to this house. Armed robber went to that house. Armed robber went to that house. And here I am on the only house saying, come get me. And to make matters worse, not only is this house saying, come get me, I know that there is no way armed robber will show up at our house. The only thing that will happen to me is that I will get beats at the very least. I'm already getting beats by parents, already getting beats by teachers in school. Now armed robber want to come out. There was nothing about that proposition of me thinking armed robber will come to our house that was positive in any way. They were either gonna kill me or at the very least beat me to the hinge of my life. So I felt so uncomfortable. For many years, I couldn't voice it. Every night I'm going to bed, I'm thinking, oh God, please don't let them come tonight. Please continue. Give me another night. Mr. Clay, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Those are the cards you were dealt.
Imagine the guys that said, you know what, when Abraham comes to this area, they're coming to your house.
And
thank God it didn't happen. Thank God it did not happen. Thank God. Oh, thank God. I couldn't wait to get out of Nigeria. That was one of the first things that when I left Nigeria, I was like, thank God. Because imagine if armed robbers showed up in any way, shape, or form, where were they gonna go? Where? If they were gonna come to that area, where? And some people will be looking at us and think, so for me, that was my equivalent of white guilt. So what was my white guilt there? My white equivalent of white guilt was status guilt. That we were seemingly doing way better than everybody around us. And that left me feeling exposed, naked. And to make matters worse, I know better. I knew that even though, we might have to do a part 2 of this. So I knew that even though it looked like we're doing way better than everybody else, I knew there were some days we didn't have meat on the plate. I knew we were struggling. I knew my dad and mom were just making ends meet, barely. Meanwhile, some people are thinking like that, oh, look at them, they're rich. So what am I saying? I'm saying all that to say this. A lot of the people that you're thinking, are they white? Are they rich? Are they doing better than you? You don't know what they're going through behind closed doors. You don't know the disadvantages in their cards that they're dealing with. Mr. Clare was talking about some families, in their families, the problem is a genetic disease. Let's go as far as the Tsar of Russia. There was a time the whole Tsar of Russia, the problem in their family is what they call hemophilia. That means that if they have a little cut, the thing will not stop bleeding. It will just bleed and bleed and bleed, and sometimes they could die. Their blood will not clot. Hemophilia. So again, when you see people doing well, you don't want to know what is underneath that they're dealing with. So, like Mr. Clay, I've looked at my cards. One of the cards in my time was, again, let me quickly go. I'll try not to go too deep into this one. I found myself, well, thank God I was already reading books then, but I was a father before I was 30, and in 4 years, I had 3 kids in 4 years. Do the maths. Do the maths. 3 kids in 4 years. That means basically I had a brood of babies. Brood of babies. That was my card. Now, how do you play that card to win? Well, I had to do with that a lot of things. I remember I was one of the first dads that was pushing pram, changing nappies. Did it look good then? Heck no. Did it look sexy then? Heck no. But those were my cards. And I remember telling myself that, okay, constant, now this is the cards you've been dealt, and you can't, okay, your part, obviously you've chosen it, so it's here now. So we play these cards to win. So what did I do? I said, okay, let me devote my time to raise these children. Now, when you see those children today, everybody's looking at me going, wow, you're so lucky. Got nothing to do with luck. Because that time, when I was changing nappies, my friends were going on holidays to Disney World. I couldn't. They were in the clubs, bigging it up, living it life. I was pushing pram. But now those friends are now pushing pram today, when my children are now grown. and I'm enjoying the benefits of it. So again, I just use that as a personal example of playing the cards you've been dealt to win, because some people actually even thought that I made a mistake then. Some people were convinced, bro, you fucked your life up. Excuse my language. You've messed up. How can you have 4 street children in 4 years? You have to space them. You have to do this. But I just kept quiet. And I knew the price I had to pay to play my cards to win. Now I'm 50-year-old. When people see my children, they're like amazed. Surely you can't be that. Honestly, someone saw me and my daughter and they were sure she was my girlfriend. And the other one actually happened. The other one actually happened. Like, this is funny. Well, it's funny to me. They thought my daughter was my girlfriend. So my daughter now saw this guy and his woman, this one guy and this woman. And the woman, you know how women age quicker, especially when they're white over here. So Rick now thought that was his mom. Wow. And it was his wife. If you saw the look that woman gave Rike, if looks could kill, Rike would be dead. because they went to her, so how's your husband? No, that's my dad. And they were like, oh really? And then Rike said, oh, so how's your son? And Mr. Clay. So anyway, the long and short of it is, all I'm saying is play your cards to win. Whatever you find yourself, where are you right now? We may do a part 2 to this because there's more to unravel. Where are you right now? Check where you are. Are you a guy? Are you a girl? He has his advantages and his disadvantages. Mr. Clay, take over for now.
Yeah. The advantages and disadvantages. When you're looking at your advantages, you need to know that, there are so many things you have to take into account. Especially if you're a man, you must know that your life is not the same as a woman. And if you're a woman, you must know and understand that your life is not the same as the man. Because a man normally hits his peak around the age of 45. So averagely, as a guy, you need to know that you're warming up to it. A lot of things that you feel like you're missing out on now, that you're not getting right now, rest assured, by the time you get to around 45, you'll be able to get them, and you'll be accessible. You'll have access to them. A lot of the things you think you're missing out on. Now, for girls, ladies, your timeline is a little different because you have your peak years, is between the ages of 15 and 27, because believe it or not, by 30, 90% of your eggs are gone.
35.
By 35?
Yeah.
Okay. But 30 is
yeah.
90%. If you Google it, 30.
Is it okay.
Age 30, 90% of your eggs are gone. At age 30. Can you imagine that? So you can still have a baby, don't get me wrong, because people, but at age 30, 90% of your eggs are gone. So if you wanna put career before children, you have to really plan it carefully. So I'm just saying, so when you're looking at your cards, there are some elements. That's just an example of elements you have to scope into your cards. So back to you, Mr. Phil.
We definitely have to do a part 2 to this because there is, I'll just give you a trailer for what's about to come. We need to look at the fact that now part of the cards is that the way the world is set up now is actually far more advantageous to be a Black person in this world right now than any other race. So we're going to break that down. Why do we say that? Okay. Again, we were dealt with the cards what's the history so far? We're the ones that went through slavery. We're the ones that have that seem to have no economic base. We're the ones that Africa seems to be behind in everything. Okay, that's the cards that we were dealt when we walked in, but we can still play those cards to win. Proof. Look one of the greatest examples, and I don't care how many times I use this example, it is so valid and so real and so true. Like the example of what Burna Boy, Wizkid, Olamide, those guys have done. They've used the worst kind of background, played the cards they've been dealt, and now even Flyboy and Ed Sheeran just did a collab. Can you imagine? Why is the world now seeking them? There's a reason why. We need to look into that. Okay, I call it the black opportunity now. Okay, now, honestly, with the cards we have now, if we play it well, everybody will wish they were black. But then again, they shouldn't wish they were black. They should just play the cards they've been dealt. Okay, and so we're gonna do a part 2. All right, and just know that you can play the cards you've been dealt to win, whatever those cards are. All right. Let's round up, Mr. Clay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's the black advantage.
Does it sound like does it sound like an oxymoron? Black advantage. Yes. Black advantage.
So now we have the black advantage.
This is
on that note about
man. Look, there's a reason why they chipped off the nose of the pharaohs. They were black. We're remembering, but there's a reason, Mr. Clay. There's these things are hidden. They're hidden gems. We're looking at Still Pulse the other day, Mr. Clay, and Still Pulse were talking about. You sent me the new thing that they released. We're remembering. There's something about when Michael Jackson did. Do you remember the time when we fell in love? Now, when he did that video, notice that it was Egypt that he said that he set it in. Do you remember the time when we ruled? We're beginning to remember. This is too deep. Maybe this is one of the reasons why you got me saying this, Mr. Clay. We're gonna have a Patreon channel. There are certain things that I will not share here. Why? Because there's certain information that only people that are seeking should get. Not all information should just be given to everybody willy-nilly. So we're going to have a Patreon channel, and I'm going to be sharing some amazing information that I will not even... The information that we're sharing with you is already amazing, but there are levels. And the Patreon channel, we're going to have levels on that channel. We're going to have a Patreon. And I'm going to reveal some things. We've got such an advantage now because we don't even have the guilt to hold us back now. We don't have the guilt to hold us back. We don't have the technology is revealing that everything has been unfair on us. So every stage is set for us to take over. What are you talking about? On that note, make sure, don't remember, click like, subscribe, and share. Share this information with others because we're about to take over. On that note, God bless. See you all next time.